Hello guys, welcome back. So now here in this session, we'll talk about account payable. So we'll see the configuration part, testing part, and there are many more topics in account payable, which is going to be discussed one by one in detail. Now, so first of all, what is happening guys? Here account payable means, we all know very well account payable means, look at here. Now account payable is a liability, right, or an account owed to a creditor. Creditor means vendor for the purchase of goods or services. When you guys are going to check on Google such kind of definitions, you guys are going to get. Okay, some of you it is pretty clear, some of you might not be clear because if you talk about SAP and that too FICO modules are here, people from finance and account background, those people also learn. There are multiple people it's not from finance and account background, those people also learn. Now, so the simplest definition is, look at here, account payable means that we have purchased the goods on credit and we are yet to pay off the creditor. What does it mean, guys? If we talk about procurement, right? So procurement is nothing but purchase. So what is happening, guys? When you talk about two kind of purchases are there, one is called cash purchase, okay, and second one is called credit purchase. Cash purchase means payment is going to be done immediately, instantly. Credit purchase means what is happening, guys? The payments are not going to be made immediately. It will take time. Time in the sense like there will be a gap of 30 days, 45 days, right? 60 days. Whatever this gap is there, that is called terms of payment, which is going to be discussed between purchaser and seller. Terms of payment is also a topic, guys, which we have to set up here. And that also I'll explain, don't worry, in upcoming session. So here what happened, guys? Account payable means now a credit purchase. We have made a purchase of, let's suppose, this 10,000 rupees or dollar or euro, whatever currency is there. We have made a purchase of this much. And what is happening, guys? The payment is going to be made after 30 days. Okay. If this is the case, and say for example, like today we have made a purchase, and if tomorrow financial statement is going to be published or financial statement is going to be finalized, what about this 10,000? We have to show it somewhere. So guys, this cannot be treated as our assets because we have made the purchase, but we are yet to pay off. It means we haven't made the payment yet. So what is happening, guys? It means, let's suppose Tata Motor has to pay this amount, and we can say they are liable to pay this amount after 1 month or 2 months, in the sense in coming future. So these amounts generally are going to be treated as liability. In the sense you have taken money from somebody and you have to return it after some time. So the money which you have taken, that is not your assets, right? That is the liability. In the sense in future we must have to return. Same thing, a purchase made of 10,000 is going to be pay off to the creditor, in the sense to the vendor, in coming future. So this 10,000 is going to be treated as liability, and this is your payable amount. In the sense in future we are going to pay. So this is called payable amount, right? And the same payable is called account payable. So that is what I have specified here, guys. If you have a look on this PPT. So the second I'm talking about, look at the second, because the first one, as I said, like somebody who is from non-finance and account background may be a little bit confused. The meaning of both are same, right? Only the difference are there of words or sentences you can say. Now here account payable means that we have purchased the goods on credit and we are yet to pay off the creditor. Okay, so that is called account payable. In the sense, purchase has already taken place, but we have not made the payment yet, right? And if we talk about the vice versa, that is going to be treated as account receivable, because when you talk about the sales and purchase, guys, it is happening between one business to other business. Tata Motor is one business entity, right? And if you talk about the vendor, vendor means supplier, right? The organizations which is going to sell the raw material, let's suppose to Tata Motor. So they're the supplier, they're the vendor. So even that is also a business entity. So what happened, guys? Here B2B sales, B2B purchase, B2B, I mean to say business to business, from one business to other business, right? From one business entity to other business entity. If any sales purchases are happening, that is happening on credit basis. Okay. So I hope it is pretty simple to understand. And as I said, account payable is a liability. And of course, short-term liability, guys. Short-term liability means, let's suppose if you guys are going to, uh, say for example, if you are going to, you know, purchase from the vendor, so they will give you a time period to make the payment. So if they have given you a time period to make the payment, it doesn't mean that they will say that you just do one thing, procure the goods today and you make payment after 1 year or 2 year. No, they will say that 30 days, 45 days, 60 days, max to max maybe 90 days, right? So that is why it is called short-term liability. Now here in account payable, what is happening, guys? When you talk about, like, say for example here, in the previous session we have seen certain transactions like rent account debit worth of a particular amount, and here bank account is going to be credited again worth of a particular amount, right? I'll make it 30. Okay, it is going to be like that. So this is one GL and this is another GL. GL to GL entry, right? So it is called JV. JV means journal voucher. Okay. Now, if we talk about account payable, guys, so account payable means now here whatever transactions are taking place, in every transactions there will be involvement of a vendor, right? Vendor means whether it is posting the vendor invoice or posting the credit memo or posting the payment, whatever it is, in every transactions there is involvement of vendor. Say for example, we have already, let's suppose we are having this rent account, okay? Or else, like, if we are going to procure certain raw material from a particular vendor. Vendor name is XYZ Limited. So now what is happening? Whatever this raw material is going to be purchased, that is called stock or inventory. So stock of, let's suppose, raw material is going to be debited again a particular amount, and vendor, that is XYZ Limited, is going to be credited with the same amount. So here what happened, guys? Now, if we talk about this stock of raw material, of course, this is a GL account. What is the next one? Next one is vendor account. Okay, I'm typing in shortcut so not look at this spelling setup. This is your vendor account. So this is a master data and this is another master data, right? I'll tell you guys, master data means it is a permanent setup or permanent creations, we all know. And here interview perspective also people are asking the questions, what is the difference between master data and transaction data? So transaction data, of course, are regular and activity, in the sense like transactions are going to be posted on regular basis, whereas every time different details will be there while posting the transactions, right? Different detail, I mean to say, let's suppose this time different amount, next time different amount, and even other details are going to be maybe uh, whatever the transactions are taking place, always it is going to be posted on a different date. So dates, document date, posting dates are going to be different, right? Transaction data this time a different GL, next time a different GL, isn't it? But when you talk about master data, once we have created this rent GL, it can be used lifelong. And there are certain details which is going to be fetched by SAP from master data itself. What are those details? We'll talk about. Okay, I'll explain. So here, this is vendor master, and this is also one-time setup. We have to create the vendor master. So what is happening, guys? What is the use of this vendor master? Why do we need to set up the vendor master? So I'll tell you. There are lots of informations, guys. Say, for example, this XYZ Limited is there. So if we talk about the terms of payment, there will be a discussion with this vendor. Okay. Now, every organizations will be having a procurement team. Okay. Whether you say procurement team or purchasing team. So what is the use of this procurement team, guys? These people involved in all purchase related negotiations with the vendor. So when they are going to negotiate, let's suppose, because initially it's not like simply they are going to raise a request to buy something. Before that, multiple negotiations happen. They are going to be agreed on a particular deal, right? On particular terms and conditions. And then finally, what is happening, guys? Then the transactions are going to take place. So the major important is terms of payment. When we are going to procure a particular raw material, then how much time they are going to give to make the payment. Let's suppose, so this is a kind of negotiations, right? Purchase department, what is their major use, guys? So these people are always trying to get the best deal. This time this vendor says that we can accept the payment, we are going to give you 30 days. They'll keep on finding the new vendors in the market. Somebody, let's suppose a different vendor is there and they says like we are going to give you 60 days. So of course the 60 days is better deal compared with 30 days payment. Okay, and likewise multiple other conditions also will be there. So when you talk about terms of payment, multiple vendors, let's suppose if you talk about Tata Motor or any such kind of organizations will be having multiple vendors because it is not a small organization. Now let's suppose here these all are the vendors. Okay. Now what happened, guys? So first of all, with this all vendor, let's suppose negotiations are already done and agreed on a particular terms and conditions. So in future, what is happening, guys? In future, procurements are going to take place in the sense we are going to Tata Motor is going to purchase the goods or services from this vendor. So what is happening in SAP? These vendor must be created. Okay. So this vendor must be created means vendor master must be created. Vendor A, vendor B, vendor C, right? Okay. Now what happened with this all vendor? Let's suppose if we talk about terms of payment. Okay. So let's suppose different vendors are going to supply different goods or services. Okay. Now with some vendor, 30 days, here 45 days, here 90 days, again 30 days, right? 60 days, somewhere 45 days, and likewise. So different terms of payment are there based on like the kind of goods and services they are going to sell, in the sense the kind of goods and services we are going to purchase. So now these are the terms of payment. So do you think is it possible to remember that what negotiations like what kind of negotiation is done with this vendor A and this vendor B is agreed on for 45 days, C is agreed for 90 days payment, D is agreed for 30 days payment. It is not possible to remember. So whenever it's not like that negotiations and deals are going to happen at a time with each and every vendor. Of course, but procurement team is there, purchase department is there. Let's suppose if they have a contract with the vendor A and they have finalized that okay, they are there. This is like when we deliver the like we are going to when you purchase a raw material from our side, we will give you 30 days. So this purchase department is going to raise a request to a master data team. I'll tell you guys in every organizations, if you talk about the end user perspective, okay, end user perspective means we all know the difference between consultant and end user. User means end user, we can say users also. The Tata Motor employees are user, they are end user. So in Tata Motor, what is happening? Account payable team will be there. In account payable team, somebody is going to post the invoices, somebody will be involved in payment posting, somebody's are going to create the purchase orders, somebody's are going to what is say release the payments, going to post the payment, somebody's are going to handle the credit memo, right? These things are there. So now what happened when this negotiation happened, 30 days payment, then for a vendor master is going to be created. Okay, so what will happen on this while creation of vendor master, this terms of payment is going to be specified on the master data itself. If 5 or 10 vendors are there, if 100 vendors are there, then what will happen, guys? We can manage, like say for example, we can note it down somewhere on the diary also. But if Tata Motor is having 10,000 vendor, is it possible to maintain the details somewhere in the notebook or diaries or somewhere? No. So generally what is happening, and since we are using ERP, so SAP says that create a vendor master. Okay. And while creation of vendor master, these terms of payments are going to be linked with vendor master itself. Okay. Now, right now, I know that you guys are not able to visualize what I'm trying to say, but of course, once I uh, proceed further, once I complete the configurations, when I create the vendor master, and when I post the invoice, you guys will be able to visualize the things which I'm explaining right now. So the question is like, why do we set up the vendor master? I have seen this question has been asked earlier during interview. That is why I'm trying to explain what is the use of master data. Why do we need to see? I'll tell you guys, whichever settings, whichever configurations or creations are happening here in SAP, behind each and every settings and behind each and every creations, there are logic. Without logic, without uses, nothing is going to happen, right? If you know the logic, if you know the reason, if you know the control of that particular settings and all, you guys are going to become a consultant, or else you keep on doing configurations even 100 years or so, nothing will happen, right? So that is why when I have to explain the things, it takes time. Okay. So here what I said, now I'm explaining why to set up this vendor master. What is the benefit? So let's suppose, first of all, we are going to have discussion in the sense like the purchase department of Tata Motor is going to discuss on terms of payment. Certain vendor agreed for 30 days, certain vendors saying 45 days, certain vendors 90 days. So now multiple terms of payments are there. And if Tata Motor is having negotiation or agreement with 10,000 vendors, then what will happen? Is it possible to remember that with which vendor what terms of payments we have agreed upon? So what happened? Whenever the agreement is going to happen with the vendor, whenever the deals are going to happen with the vendor, then what happened? A vendor master is going to be created into SAP system, and when vendor master creates, at that point of time itself on vendor master, a terms of payment is going to be assigned. Okay, terms of payment, how to set up, I'll show you guys. So a terms of payment is going to be linked with this vendor master. Okay, that is the one thing. So this terms of payment is going to be stored on the master data. Okay. Now, okay. The another thing is how the payments are going to be made. Okay. The payments are going to be made through check or through bank transfer. Okay. Through check or through bank transfer. Right. Certain vendor will say that we accept check payment and bank transfer both. Certain vendor says that we accept only bank transfer. Certain vendor says that we need only check payment. Okay. So this is called payment method, in which by which method they are going to accept the payment. Because if the procurement has taken place today, of course, after certain time we have to make the payment. So this is called payment method. So again, different vendors are saying different payment method, right? So this payment method also we are going to specify on the vendor master itself, right? If the vendors are saying that we need payment in bank, then we need bank details of the vendors. So let's suppose we have procured certain raw material from this A, and while payment, okay, if A is saying like let's suppose bank transfer. So while payment, we need the bank accounts and certain other details which is required, right, to make the payment. If it is within India, bank details plus IFSC code. Outside of cross-border payment, bank details plus Swift code, right? Now, so here what happened, guys? So are we going to ask, like, whenever the transactions are taking place, are we going to ask such details again and again? And this much transaction has taken place. Let's suppose next month payment is going to, we have to make the payment. Okay. You can ask the bank details from vendor. But what will happen whenever the transactions are taking place and whenever you have to make the payment, are you going to ask every time? No. So once we have received the bank details of the vendor, that is going to be stored here on vendor master data itself. Likewise, multiple other details also will be there, guys. Multiple other details in the sense. Now let's suppose this vendor B is supplying a particular service. When you post a service related invoice, let's suppose a certain tax is going to be deducted. Okay, a particular tax. So maybe 5%, 10%, 12%, right? So what happened? This vendor is eligible for how much tax? This vendor is eligible for how much tax? I'm talking about TDS. Okay, TDS means that is a direct tax. Okay, we'll discuss in detail when I start withholding tax configurations. So here what happened, guys? So in that case, what happened? In that case, generally, this went, so how much percent, 5%, 10%, 20% depends upon the different kind of or nature of the services which is going to be given by vendor. Okay, so certain vendor eligible for 2% tax, certain vendor is eligible for 5% tax. So what happened? We are going to create certain tax code. Okay, and those tax codes are going to be assigned to the vendor master directly. So while posting the invoices, automatically SAP is going to check, okay, that which tax code has been assigned to this vendor master, and based on that, automatically what is happening, guys? The tax deductions are going to happen. So multiple at the time of transaction posting, guys, multiple informations are going to be fetched by SAP system from master data itself. When you post the invoice, if you post the invoice against A, that invoice is going to be due in 30 days. When you post the invoice against B, that invoice is going to be due in 45 days. Why? Because these details are coming from master data. How it is coming from master data, guys? As I told you, when you post any account payable related invoices, in that there will be involvement of ZEAL and vendor. So here what happened, guys? Here, look at here. So when you are going to enter the details, when you are going to post the transactions, what is happening? Here, the vendor master is coming into picture, right? I'll tell you guys one thing here. Show you dot. So what is the benefit of creating the vendor master, guys? There are multiple details are going to be stored on master data itself. What are the major details? Details means terms of payment, payment method, bank details, reconciliation account, and even other details also will be there. We'll see one by one. Okay, tax details also will be there. Okay. So what happened when we are going to post the simple example I've given, when we post the invoice? So this invoice is going to be due in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, right? How SAP will come to know? So now we are having, let me, when I go for FB60, FB60 means to post the vendor invoice. So when you have to post a vendor invoice, guys, now here, so what happened? Let's suppose here we are going to specify the vendor. Okay. You have to give a vendor, let's suppose, give a date. Okay. Now here, you click on payment. This vendor does not exist. Okay, let me check. This is a different company code, guys, which is already created. So let me check if any vendor is created for this company code. Yes, it is there. Okay. So this is the vendor. When you click on this tab, I'll show you. So there is a payment terms. By default, it is coming. Where it is coming from, guys? It is coming from master data itself. Okay. This is going to be determined by system from where? From master data itself. Okay. Likewise, other details also will be there, guys. Vendor bank details. Now look at here, bank data not available. It means while creation of this vendor, I might have not given the bank details and all. That is why it is not appearing, or else bank details also is going to be fetched by system from master data. Which payment methods are going to be used for the payment to this vendor, that is also going to be specified on master data, right? So multiple details are going to be stored on master data itself. Okay. So what is happening here? Okay. So now whenever transactions are taking place in account payable, there will be involvement of vendor and GL. So say for example, if I say like stock of raw material GL, so what will happen? How much time it is going to take place to create a GL account? My company code is TM42. Sorry, go to FS now. So here, let's suppose TM42 or TM22. Which company code we are using, guys? Let's suppose if it is TM22, whichever it is. Then what is happening? This is going to be used. Okay. So here what is happening, guys? Now let's suppose. So here certain GLs are already created. Okay. And if I have to create this stock of raw material, it is going to take hardly 1 minute. Why? Because whatever GL related settings are there, that is already done. Now, if you have to create the vendor master, so before creating the vendor master, what we have to do? Again, for that also we have to do certain configuration, right? First of all, we have to perform certain basic setting. And once it is done, then we can create a master data. We can post the vendor invoice. We can post the credit memo. We can post the payment, right? I'll tell you guys, vendor invoice, we all know whatever procurement has taken place for that, vendor is going to send an invoice. In the sense, vendor is going to deliver the goods. At the same time, they will deliver a bill also, right? Okay. We have received 100 units of a particular raw material, out of which we found that 30% of the consignment is like, let's suppose, broken, or like the quality is not up to the mark. So what is happening? We have to return, right? So whatever the vendor bills are there, that is called vendor invoice, right? Vendor invoice. Okay. This is called invoice is nothing but bill. And if you raise any return, that is called vendor credit memo. Okay. In the sense, we have received 100 units of a particular material, out of which 30 units are defective or quality is not up to the mark. So that much we have to return to the vendor, right? So that return is going to be posted in the form of vendor credit. Okay. And then finally, what is happening? Payment is going to take place. That is called vendor payment. after 30 days, after 60 days, after 45 days, right? These things we can post it. So first of all, what we have to do? First of all, we have to create the vendor master. GL master creation, as I said, like settings are already done. So even no need to create a stock of this raw material, guys. We are already having rent GL. So what will happen? We can use this rent GL for transaction posting, right? So rent GL means, of course, it's a kind of services. Let's suppose Tata Motor, whatever this corporate office premise is there, they have taken on lease, they have taken on rent, right? In the sense like a particular builder is there, a particular infrastructure, in the sense like a particular vendor is there who has like rented this entire premises to Tata Motor, and every month Tata Motor is going to pay certain amount in the form of rent. So that also can be posted here in the form of account payable. Okay. So first of all, we must have to create, okay, a vendor. Before creation of vendor, what is happening, guys? There will be certain configurations. What are the configurations? Look at here. The very first configuration is called define vendor account groups. Okay. Now here, I'll tell you. If you talk about account group, we have already discussed this account group earlier at the time of creation of GL account. In GL account, what is happening, guys? We have defined the account group. And what is the use of account group, right? What account group is going to control certain things? So if you guys are able to remember, account group control the fields of GL master, right? It also controls the number ranges. The same thing happened here in case of vendor account group also. In vendor also, what happened, guys? It is going to control the fields of vendor master. I'll tell you guys, there are lots of people, isn't it? Lots of people means, as I said, like lots of people knows my number, right? And multiple calls I get from the candidates. Now what is happening? It is, of course, it is not possible to answer every calls and all. Hardly 2% calls only can be answered because multiple calls will be there, guys. It is not possible. And you know, like my numbers, lots of people know, and it's available at different platforms. Okay. Now, so still, if I get a time, and let's suppose if I talk to any person, right? I've seen multiple people are lacking like a simple things and all. When I say is like, let's say if you create a GL master, certain fields are appearing, and if you have to control those fields, how, where, by, like how you guys are going to control the fields, right? I'll tell you guys, 95% or 96% or 98% even I can say, people says that it is field status variant. The very first things come into their mind, that is field status variant. This is what the silly mistake, right? So when you guys are giving the interview, let's suppose your candidates are giving interview, you said it is field status variant. Okay, what about the interviewer? They will simply, they have given a negative mark, they will not say anything. Candidate feels that yes, I have given a correct reply, that is why there is no any what do you say reaction from the interview, right? But this is a mistake, because field status variant control a different field, account group controls a different field, even document type also control the fields, but that is going to control a different field. Some differences are there, and those differences you have to know. This is how you guys are going to become a consultant. Now what is happening? So account group, if you talk about account group, if you talk about GL account group, GL account group control the fields of GL master. Likewise, vendor account group is going to control the fields of vendor master. GL account group control the number ranges of GL master data. Likewise, vendor account group also control the number ranges of vendor master data. Simple logic is there. Okay. now. And what is this account group, guys? So if you are able to remember the GL account group, I told you people, all assets like whatever the GL, which is similar nature of GL, right? So I said like account group is the group of similar nature of GL. All asset related GLs are going to be created under asset account group. Liability, whichever GL which is in liability, liability like liability GLs are there, those GLs are going to be created under liability account group. Likewise, we are having revenue, expenses, and others. Okay, so this is how we have categorized the GL account. Under every category, multiple GLs are going to be created. The only what to say thing is like so this similar nature of GLs, right? So that is why I said like account group is a group of similar nature of GL. Likewise, so the same thing is applicable on vendors also. Vendor account group means what, guys? Group of similar nature of vendors. Okay, similar nature of vendors. Now, so we have to define account groups, and let's suppose, and apart from this, the major thing is account group control the vendor field, like the account group control the fields which appears at the time of creation of vendor master. It also controls the number range. Okay, so what we have to do, this account group we have to create, and look at here, create number ranges for vendor account group. Number ranges we have to create, and look at here, assign the number ranges to the vendor account group itself. This is why I said, see, we have created a number range here. Let's suppose this is the number range we have created, and this number range is going to be assigned to account group. Okay, and when we create a vendor master, right? When you create a vendor master is going to be created against account group. So when you create a vendor master, let's suppose we are going to enter all the details. When you save the details and all, then what happened? Automatically, a vendor code, a vendor number is going to be generated. How? So when you create a vendor master, first of all, we are going to give vendor master is going to be created against a particular account group, right? So what is happening? System is going to trigger the account group. Against account group, this number range we have assigned, that is going to be triggered by system. Against this number range, a particular range we have given, that is going to be triggered by system, right? And from this range, system is going to derive a particular number. Here, it is little bit differences are there compared to GL and vendor master. Here what happened, guys? Here automatically sequence wise the numbers are going to be generated. But in GL, what is happening, guys? In GL, if you talk about, in GL we are having manually you have to enter the number. Create a bank GL, HDFC Bank, a particular number. Create HSBC Bank, particular number. Create Bank of America, a particular GL number you have. It means manually. Here in vendor, automatically system is going to generate the number sequence wise. Okay, and there is a reason. GL account means how many GL? Max to max 600, 700, 1000, or max to max 2000 GLs are going to be created. Depends upon the size of the organization. A medium size organizations means maybe 1000, 1200 GL will be there. A large organizations maybe 2000 GLs will be there. Okay, these were the number of GLs. If we talk about number of vendors, guys, number of vendors, it could be maybe 10,000, maybe 20,000 vendors, maybe 50,000 vendors. If we talk about big organizations like Unilever, Siemens, right? Or multiple such kind of organizations are there, which is having their branches throughout the world. They'll be having like maybe lakhs of vendors will be there because they're having multiple subsidiaries and they're having multiple They are having presence in multiple countries, right? So now here what is happening? So this is how, so vendor master is going to be set up against a particular account group. So system is going to trigger the account group. Against account group, what is happening, guys? We have assigned the number range that is going to be triggered by system and number range code. Okay. And then what is happening, guys? This against the number range, a particular range will be there that is going to be triggered. And from this range, what is happening? System is going to generate a particular number. 1005 I have given, right? So based on what? Based on NR status. We'll see this. Don't worry. So let me set up this. Okay. So just do one thing, guys. Go to OB D3 to create vendor account group. Okay. Click on inventory. You can give. So better to give like whatever your company code is there. Let's suppose if it is M22, you can give. Okay. You can give here a descriptions and save it. Now I'll tell you guys how the fields are getting controlled. So here, field status. You double click on general data. Double click on address. Look at here. Multiple fields are there. Suppressed, required, optional, and display. Okay. So in the sense like right now it is optional. When I make it is required, this field is going to be required. It means at the time of creation of vendor, we must have to enter. You have to give certain input in this field. Okay. So where is this control, guys? This control is, of course, it's there at account group level. Account group is going to control the fields of, if it is vendor account group, it is going to control, or it controls the fields of vendor master. Okay. If it is GL account group, GL account group controls the fields of GL master. Some people know the logic, but when somebody asks like what do you mean by account group and what is it control, people says that it controls the fields of GL master. I'll tell you guys, this is very tricky question, right? So try to understand the sensitivity of this question here. See, interviewer is not asking which account group. Interviewer ask like you tell me what do you mean by account group and what does it control, right? Here 99% people, let's suppose, in the sense whoever knows this, if somebody don't know, of course they're going to say that okay, it is like something like group of GL or something. They will say this much only people are going to say, right? Which fields are getting controlled. That also like lots of people are going to be confused there. It's okay. Now, so here, when somebody asks what do you mean by account group and what does it control, here also most of the people will say account group is a group of similar nature of GL account. It controls the fields of GL master, right? Or number ranges of GL account. So I'll tell you guys, interviewer didn't specify that GL account group. Interviewer said account group. It could be GL also, it could be vendor also. Right? So how can you confine yourself on GL itself? You are not supposed. This is a kind of diplomatic question in the sense like simply they said account group. You also have to give the answer in that way itself. When somebody asks what do you mean by account group and what does it control, simply you have to say that account group is a group of similar nature of master data. Master data when I say, because when they are asking the question, it means account group means it could be GL also, it could be vendor also. And later what is happening? When we have to create a customer, for that also we have to create customer account group. Later in account receivable. So when somebody is asking what do you mean by account group, it means a common question. It could be GL account group also, it could be customer account group also, it could be vendor account group also. So in that case, you also have to give the answer in that way itself. You can say account group is a group of similar nature of master data. So I also did say whether GL or customer or vendor. The way they have ask the questions in the same way I answered the questions. And it is going to be applied on both, on all, GL also, customer also, vendor also. So account group is a group of similar nature or similar type of master data. It controls the fields and number ranges of master data. Which master data, guys? It is applicable on GL also, it is applicable on vendor also, it is applicable on customer also. Since they didn't ask whether GL account group or vendor account group or customer account group, so I also didn't say. Why should I say GL account group only? Right? It's a common for every account group, means it could be for any GL customer vendor. So I also replied in the sense, you as a candidate, right? You also have to reply in that way itself. When somebody is very particular, like particularly they are asking, okay, you tell me what do you mean by vendor account group and what does it control? In that case, you can say vendor account group is a group of similar type of vendor masters. It controls the fields of vendor master data, and apart from this, it controls the number ranges of vendor master. But when somebody says account group, it means it's common, right? So in that way itself, you have to give the answer. Now, so we have created an account group. What next, guys? The next one is we have to create number range, XKN1, right? Here you guys are going to face some challenges. What challenges you guys are going to face? If you go to here, XKN1, okay. Tell you guys, my explanations take some time, okay? But this is how you guys are going to have a perfect understanding, right? Now, so here number range, right? Which transaction code? XKN1, okay? Now you click on interval, this one, change interval. By this one, we can maintain the number. But here, what is happening, guys? Okay, so you guys are using this online server, right? Online server. Now here, what is happening in online server? So there are multiple people in this server, right? Multiple people are there in the server. So there are multiple number ranges already created. Look at here, how many number ranges are already created. Several number ranges are already set up, right? And here there'll be a challenge. Look at here, so many number ranges are already set. There is a challenge. What challenge? Whenever you have to create a number range, a unique number range, okay? Unique number range means again, guys, okay. So unique number range means, let's suppose, let me, say for example, so here number range 1000 to 199. Okay, somebody has already set up. Somebody has set up 2000 to, okay. If you are trying to set up a number range like 1500 to, let's suppose, 3000, system will not allow. Why? Because overlapping is already, this number range is overlapping with this one and even this one also, right? Certain parts are falling under this range, certain parts are falling under this range also, right? So number range must be unique. If you say here, like let's suppose 3000 to 3999 or 3000 to 3500, it's okay. And then, so that is acceptable, right? And if you're trying to create another number range 3500 to 4000, that will not be allowed by system. The reason behind is, what is the last number of this range? 3500. So from there itself you have started. So this 3500 comes under which range? This range or this range? Here system is going to be confused. Okay. So if you have to create, system will allow you to set up the number range if you make it 3501. Okay. So this is called creation of number range without overlapping. If I'm going to create a number range, let's suppose 3900 to 5000. So look at here, it is going to overlap. 3900 means first 100 is going to overlap with this range. It means certain numbers are falling under this range. So system will not allow. So what is happening, guys? Whatever number range you have to create, you must have to create a unique number range which should not overlap with other number ranges. What challenges I said? Okay, this challenges. Okay. Now, I told you already, guys, that whenever you guys are going to use this online servers and all, multiple people are there, right? And they are doing different configurations and all. Multiple errors also will, different kind of errors you guys can see, right? But this is how you guys are going to be perfect. These errors are going to make you a perfect consultant. That is the benefit of using, online servers. Now, here, if you talk about this uh, number ranges, if I have to create, look at here, multiple number ranges are already like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and here even certain other numeric digit, alphabetic, alphanumeric, special character, anything can be given. Let's suppose I'm going to give. So here, likewise, we are having 10, 11, 12, 14 is not there, right? 14 is not there. I'll create a 14. And where is this, guys? Up. Yes, here, 14. And if I give a range, let's suppose 1000 to 1999, and if I press enter, look at bottom, enter, interval without overlap. So what challenges I said, guys? I said, like, whenever you create any number range, no matter whichever number range you guys are going to create, most likely 99% chances will be there that it is going to be overlap with a particular number range. Why? Because look at here, already multiple number ranges are created by people, right? So how to set up the number range, we know very well. Simply you have to click on here, create a number range and save it. That's it. So now instead of trying to find out, like, okay, which is the unused number, or which number range is still not used by people, it may take half an hour, it may take 1 hour to find out the exact number. Why to do so? What we are going to do, guys, we will use the existing number range itself. It is created by someone or certain number ranges, that itself we can use. Okay. And when you have to use the existing number range, I suggest to use this 02. Okay. 02. Hit here. Look at here. 02 means a particular range is there. Here also, like, people are restricted this number range like this. It's okay. So here still multiple, what do you say? It is like how many numbers got created? This 547 till 5. Still multiple numbers are still remaining. So we can use this 02, or not only 02, you can use other number ranges also, whichever you want. But I suggest 02. Use this 02 so that uh, there won't be any issues. The reason behind is, let's suppose if you're going to use a particular number range, okay, say for example 1000 to 1999, and if you see here NR status is already updated with 1998, it means this number range is almost, most of the numbers are already consumed. Very limited number of vendors can be created. Okay, so use number range 02. Okay, we are going to use number range 02. So whatever number range is there, that is going to be assigned with the account group. OB. Okay, so how the transaction code is OBAS, by which you have to assign it to your account group. Here you can give the tier 22, number range 0 to, and save it. Okay, so what we have done, we have assigned this number range with account group. Then what next, guys? The next one is we are having, okay, then we have to define a tolerance group, reconciliation account, then we have to create the master data, then we have to post the invoice. So these things I'll explain in next session.